Hello, hello, hello. Apologies for the voice. Here, let's make some hype going. Yeah, woo! Or something like that. All right, enough of that. Hello. I am Stream Crush. Still somehow sicker than I was yesterday. Don't ask me how that works. It's at the point where I might actually consider taking another day off of work, which sucks. Because I really don't want to have to do that, but I feel like I'm not going to have much of a choice at this rate. I don't even know how well I'm... I don't even know how well I'm going to be able to stream tonight, but I'm going to try. Like I could have just went back to bed or something, but I've been doing that all day, just vegging and stuff. I need to do something. So that's what we're doing. We're going to be doing stuff. Yeah. Let's see here. What's some fun things to talk about? Yeah, we're starting off the stream exciting. Hold on a second here. Let me take a drink. All right. Hopefully that clears up the voice a little bit. As nice big old swig of coffee. All right. Yakuza Kiwami 3 plus Dark Ties announced for every platform. It's a remake of Yakuza 3, which also includes a prequel side game following mine called Yakuza 3 Gaiden Dark Ties, out next year in February. I don't know how much of a hot take this is, but I feel like Sega has saturated Yakuza way too much. Like, there's just too many Yakuza games. Or sorry, Like a Dragon games. I feel like there's just too many of them. And then, like, when they try to come up with something original like Judgment, it's just a Yakuza ripoff. Like, I don't mean it in a mean way. Like, it's definitely based on Yakuza's, like, gameplay, though. But there's just too much of it. Like, I'm glad Sega is allowing their IP to be farmed out to other developers, like Lizard Cube doing Streets of Rage, and now Shinobi, which, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the new Shinobi game, but it's cool, I won't lie. I just don't like the way it plays. Hold on a sec. I don't think you really want to hear me blow my nose. But yeah, like, supposedly there's a new Crazy Taxi coming. The only footage we've seen, it looked like a Crazy Taxi game. But I feel like Sega isn't really utilizing their war chest of IPs very well. But in regards to Like a Dragon, I feel like they've turned it into an annual franchise to the point where it's like somebody like me, as interested as I am in the Yakuza stuff, I've never played a single game, but I'm intimidated too at this point, because it feels like let's say you've never read a One Piece manga, and then you see that there's like 3,000 chapters, and you realize that even if you read like a whole bunch of them every single day, it would still take you years to get through them all. It's that kind of feeling, right? Like, there's so many Yakuza games at this point that, like, how many of those do you play before you get to the newest one, and don't burn out? Like, I can't imagine at this point. You'd have to be keeping up with every single one, and I don't know if they're all tied together as like one long story, but to me it just feels like it's more intimidating now. And it's weird because, like, I don't feel like that with like Resident Evil or anything like that, but maybe it's because each of those entries always looked fairly distinct from one another, whereas like the Yakuza games generally haven't. So I don't know. But Persona 5 Royal has surpassed 1 million copies sold in Japan. Persona 5 Plus Royal sold 10 million worldwide. It's not too bad. New Mario Kart World update adds discovered collectibles to map in free roam and allows friends to join Knockout Tour online. Pretty cool. I believe those are fan requested things. I wouldn't mind getting back into Mario Kart World again at some point. Maybe when we're done with Spooky Month, well, or Spooky Season. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I saw this earlier. A Bloomberg article called "Nintendo's Switch 2 sales boom fails to ease the game developers' gloom." And of course, it's by Takashi Mochizuki. This dude is like behind every weird article about Nintendo ever. Reports on sluggish sales for independent game makers despite consumer enthusiasm for Nintendo's Switch 2 console. Maybe, and I hate to be the one to say this, but maybe it's because the economy is kind of shit. Like, it could be that. It could be that the economy is just really crappy for people. You know, like, yeah, I bought a Switch 2. No, I'm not running out and buying every game I can for it. I'm fucking sorry. Even for my PC or my PS3 or, you know, any game consoles I have, I'm much more selective these days about dropping cash. I do kind of dabble in some of the bundles, but even that I've kind of pulled back on. It's just too expensive. The average Humble bundles nowadays like $20. Some of their newer bundles have been like $30-$40. That's a lot of money. And yeah, okay, for dollar for value, sure, it's great. But if you're not really going to be playing or are interested in a lot of those games, what's the point of spending the money? You know, Humble Choice is a good example of that. It's like $16 now. Okay, fine, but like, if I'm not interested in most of those games, what's the point? Like, the whole point is that you get a big bundle of games. I'm not going to buy a bunch of games I don't want to get the one I do. I mean, some people would, but it'd have to be a damn good value. And for me, I haven't seen it. So I've skipped most of the Humble Choices for the last year, actually. I haven't gotten too many of them. It's just, it costs a lot of money. I spend my money on dumb shit anyway as it is, but yeah, I think everybody does. But the things I'm conscious of, you know, like, it's weird. I'll go to McDonald's and I'll drop a bunch of money on food, you know, or grocery store, and I'll buy an extra item here and there. You know, but I'll balk at a Humble Choice deal for $15. It's a weird thought process that we all have. But even like when it comes to fast food or even the grocery store thing, I'm pulling back. I know a lot of people are. I don't go out to eat as much. When I do, I tend to kind of pick the cheapest stuff on the menu. You know, or I try to buy stuff that'll stretch. Like, if there's a pizza deal, you know, I might grab like a 2 for whatever pizza deal. That way I know I have a couple of days of food. Because it's easier to justify $20-$30 when you're stretching it out over several days. You know, and that's kind of the thing, is like, I'm trying to stretch my budget out. And if things ever got so expensive that buying new games was relatively prohibitive, I would just emulate. Like, I think that's what I would do. I don't even know if I'd go to piracy. I think I would just go straight to emulation, which, I mean, is a form of piracy, yeah, but, you know, like, I would just play old retro games forever. Like, I'm not so, like, I think a lot of companies don't understand that, like, consumers are taught that they need to buy things through marketing. You know, the want and it becomes a need when marketing tells you that you need it, because you want it. It's a psychology thing, right? So like, so when you see something on television, the whole point of the advertisement, or the product placement, is to put that little seed in your brain that this is a thing that you want. And you don't even realize it. Like, people always say, like, oh, advertising doesn't affect me. I'm a smart, critical thinker. You're not. Everybody's susceptible to it. You know, like, the most insidious thing is that you don't even think you're susceptible to it, but you are. It shapes everything about you. You know, you knew what a McDonald's was before you could tell anybody what the first, you know, president of the United States was. You know, you knew what a Nintendo was before you could do your 50 states, you know, before you knew what countries weren't the United States or whatever your home country is. You know, like, you knew these things because you already were watching the commercials on TV. You were drowning in capitalism the day you were born, man. So, yeah, I mean, you know, this doom and gloom type of stuff, it's like, no. You know, for the Switch 2 to be successful in the long run, it needs to become a more attractive platform for outside game developers. So I see this as a concerning sign. There's nothing wrong with the Switch 2. Come on. And even if there is, you have the Switch 1, which has a huge install base. And guess what? The Switch 2 is compatible with the Switch 1. Just fucking stupid. The doom and gloom, you know, the Nintendo doomed clock thing is just always kind of funny to me. Let's see. At Gamescom, it felt like the industry now has a plan. Make games quicker. Hold on a sec. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I muted that. God damn it. Let's take a drink. Anyway, it's refreshing to hear after months and months of gloom and panic across the industry that often announcements arrive regularly as bad news busts. It feels as if everyone is finally centered on a plan. Yeah, I don't think this is. Yeah, one option is to make games that look worse. It's not that you're making games that look worse. You're just being more selective about how you play your realism. It says, given how super detailed graphics seem to be far less important to a younger generation raised on Roblox and Minecraft, this would seem like a fair enough strategy. I think you're misunderstanding what kids like. Kids like cool graphics. Roblox and Minecraft, the reason why graphics aren't as important in those games is because they are. Like, what you can make in Roblox nowadays is wild. Like, I'm not kidding. Here. I'm going to show you. Like, people think that Roblox is the block game. And, like, a lot of it is, sure. But let's see here. Trying to find. Yeah, here we go. So a lot of Roblox games are, let me turn off Robux. So a lot of where is this at? Window capture. Yeah, that's what I want.
Hey guys.
So a lot of people think Roblox looks like the. Let me put myself in the corner over here. Like a lot of people think the Roblox looks like the blocking games, like you know, like this kind of stuff, where it's like it looks like a block.
In the past,
You know,
in 3 days. The game.
there.
The cool thing about this is
Like this is what people think Roblox looks like all the time, and it kind of does. You know, like a lot of Roblox games look like this, but Roblox games also look like this.
Hey guys.
This was 3 years ago.
To real life.
So this is the inside of Roblox.
Know anything
But look at this.
me? I would say that this is a slight step up from the last game. They did a pretty good job here with the trees and stuff. They got the rocks and everything. The water is going really fast. I didn't even know you can make the water do this, honestly. We also have this little guy who's just chilling there. Let's just take a walk around here. So I don't really know anything about anything, but I feel like they did a pretty good job optimizing this mountain over here. Oh, I can't. Someone's got to make a mountain.
Isn't that wild? This is 3 years
Oh,
ago.
no. I'm just gonna reset. Alright, well that's it for this game. Let's check out the... I think this game looks pretty good for eyes staring back at me. I'm just gonna go inside. Look at this. We got the lo-fi going on, and I don't have to worry about copyright claims. It's just very chill. more chickens. So that's pretty much all there is. Oh, it's doing it right now. All right. I got 2 kills. First of many.
Yes, this is a FPS Roblox
enemy
game.
just spawned right in front of me. All right. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, guys, please.
Wild, right?
Hey guys, welcome back to another.
This is a year ago.
Through some of the most realistic Roblox games, and when I say realistic, I actually just mean this. The links to all the games will be in the description here. Death sound effects are quite interesting. Game. Okay, I like in the intro. I got a slide back, kind of walk around.
Anyways, so you get the point here, right? That like this is what Roblox looks like nowadays. And you've all seen Minecraft with texture packs. Like let's see here. Like Ultra Minecraft here. Like you could go full blown like like look at this, look at how wild this looks. This is Minecraft. How is this Minecraft? Now, obviously, kids aren't playing Minecraft like this on their phones or anything like that. But Minecraft is highly moddable these days. Basic, like, make Minecraft look good packs are not that hard to get. Like, they're not going to be ultra realistic. But, like, you could have, let's see here. Try to find like a. What was the one? Oh, hey, look, it's me. What was the one Minecraft mod? Is it just the realistic pack? I don't want it to be like super realistic. There's the one that's just really like the normal common one that has like the ray tracing and all that. Yeah, I think it's just like this. Yeah. Where like this is not what Minecraft originally looked like. This is like a lot cleaner, better looking graphics. Like the sky texture and all that. All this kind of stuff was not in the original Minecraft. It all just looks and runs better, much farther like field of view. So even if the graphics don't look ultra realistic like that other one, the experience graphically is better than it used to be. I think a lot of people forget that. Like, here's original Minecraft. Like, that's what Minecraft used to look like. This was from 2009. Here, that's actually the OGs when I started playing this stuff. Here, let's see here. We're gonna go to beta. Yeah, look at that. There. I hate that music. Like, this is what Minecraft used to look like. And this is well into it. This is 2011. This is back in the alpha. I mean, it hasn't changed dramatically, but it has changed enough. Here's the official release. It looks a lot cleaner. Here's this is in 2013. You can see like one thing I've noticed is that there's not a lot of like, oh, here we go. Now it's finally starting to look a bit more graphically impressive. This was 2013. This was 2018. You can see at the basic look it's the same, but look at the complexity of everything. It's just gotten like more and more complex, right? This is here's 2021. Look at that. Like everything's just looking more and more complex, more detailed. Like that's what Minecraft looks like now. Look at that. Looks awesome. So yeah. And then this was the RTX Minecraft. That's Minecraft with 4K ray tracing. How wild is that? So, so this idea that like, that like people don't want realistic graphics that, because kids have been raised on Roblox and Minecraft. I don't think that does justice to the kids who grew up on Roblox and Minecraft. By the way, a lot of them are adults now. Hate to break it to you. I didn't grow up on Roblox and Minecraft. I was already an adult by that point. But I'm well aware of the influence that it had on people, including myself. I played Minecraft when I was younger. I haven't played it in a long time, to be honest. I've thought about getting back into it, but maybe if I played again with other people. But, yeah, and that doesn't even include, like, how complex some of them get. Like, Pirate Software's got, like, some Minecraft MMO type game. Like, you could do a lot with these things. So it's like, you don't... Oh, let's get a let off. So you don't really need, like... You don't really need, like, hyper-realistic graphics. Sure. But you don't need, like, the crude-looking graphics either. You can get away with, like, what Nintendo does, where, like, it just needs to have a really strong art direction, a consistent art direction, that accomplishes the parts that it needs to accomplish. Like as an example, I remember the PlayStation 4 reveal, when they had the stage reveal and they had the guy coming out and talking about how amazing the new console was. Then Siri came out and talked about how many gigaflop texture blah blah blahs it was going to do. And then they had people coming out and talking about the games that were going to be coming to the PS4. And one of them was for the new Call of Duty game. I don't remember which one it was at the time, but the guy was talking about how the power of the PlayStation 5 was enabling them to realize like more incredibly realistically whatever graphics than ever. And the example he used, I remember this too, because it stuck out as like one of the most absurd things. Like, everybody laughed at the dude who was super serious about Infamous Second Son, where he was like, surveillance cameras will monitor your everything, like all that kind of stuff. Like, he was so like in the moment. But what I remember was the guy talking about Call of Duty because, or maybe it was Battlefield. I don't give a shit. It was a shooter game. He showed like a 2-second clip. I'm not kidding. It was like a very brief clip of a dude who the vehicle he's in gets knocked over, and the door gets popped open, and he gets pulled out to go continue his shooty bang bang quest. And the guys, like, that was the clip. That was the whole clip. And the developers going on about how like they had to get the door opening just right. They had to make it just like look realistic and immersive enough. He's going on like, this was like a whole 10-minute thing about this. He was going on about how like they had to go to a studio, and then they had to go like get, check the car out, and they had to model all of the hinges and everything accurately, like all of this work just to make this door open up in a realistic way. And I'm like, one, I don't know if he's actually telling the truth on that. But two, if he is, what a waste of development resources. I'm not saying doors shouldn't open realistically, but like, you have to focus your attention. Like, video games are lies. Like, all art is a lie. If I put a dot on a whiteboard and say that's a polar bear in a snowstorm, that's a lie. There's no polar bear. But your brain creates the illusion by itself. It does the work for you. So the best trick video games have ever had is to lie to you, to make something look more impressive than it actually is. A really good example of this is Silent Hill 2, the original Silent Hill 2. Since we're playing Silent Hill F, we'll talk about Silent Hill for a sec. The original Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, my bad, has really, really impressive cutscene player models. Not player models, but the cutscene models for all the characters. They look really good for the PlayStation 2. They look excellent, but it's a lie. For one thing, there's nothing else really happening in those scenes, so the PlayStation 2's modeling power can go pretty much entirely just to the model. And two, you don't really see too many models in the same screen at the same time. Right? So there's a lot of little clever tricks that are giving you the illusion of a much higher potential fidelity from the console than is actually possible. I'm not saying it didn't deliver, because it looks good and people still remember them to this day. They're well animated and everything. But it's all designed to be a lie. Just like how the original Silent Hill chose using fog to render the town. They couldn't do the entire town, so they were like, well, what will happen if we just pulled the fog in really close? Then we have a foggy town and we don't have to draw anything. Performance saved, yay! You know, and it became the identity of the game, to the point where you have Silent Hill F and like fog is everywhere, right? Like fog is the defining feature of this game. If there's one thing that you say, what describes Silent Hill, it's fog. Every Silent Hill game has fog. So, you know, a graphical limitation that was turned into a illusion to the player. It's not really fog. They just pulled in the culling distance. You know, created fog, and it became the staple of the series. So that's what you need to do as a developer, is you need to lie to save resources. To, like Silent Hill 2 Remake, you didn't have to do the entire town when you had the fog enabled. Like, if somebody turned, like, you've seen the Silent Hill 2 Remake with the fog disabled, right? Like, there's no reason why that entire town needed to be rendered. There's not. You could have had the fog basically just pulling everything from a distance, you know, and then the only thing that's rendered at any given point until Harry gets close enough to it, or sorry, not Harry, James gets close enough to it, you know, there should be nothing past that point. Like, it should only be that the only thing that ever appears is when it's in James's little sphere of influence. Otherwise, like, it's a waste of processing power that you could be throwing towards anything else. So it's like, you didn't need to render the entire town. I mean, the enemies don't even appear until you reach a certain point with James in his little circle around him. So what's the point, right? You should have done the same thing with all of the geometry. Think of the performance savings you would have had. You know, I'm guessing the same issue exists with this game too, Silent Hill F. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I wouldn't doubt it. You know, if the entire town is being rendered anyway. But like with Silent Hill F, you can see the cuts. Like, for example, I mentioned yesterday that a lot of the cloth physics they're just not there. The plants don't react to you, things like that. And like, I would mind if there was a little bit of interaction, just to give you the illusion that like there's more physics than there actually is. That would be nice. You know, because like Horizon Forbidden Dawn or whatever it was, you know, that had that similar issue where like you're playing Breath of the Wild and the grass is bending around you and you can interact with a lot of stuff. And then, you know, Horizon Forbidden Dawn didn't have any of that. Aloy is going through the grass, but most of the grass never reacts to her. You know, so it just seemed kind of weird, right? It's, you know, that kind of a thing. But I mean, if it helps save performance, sure, I'm all about that. So really, it's just kind of that thing where it's like, you can make games look worse. It's okay. Just be, you know, but you can also like keep people's illusion of what the game should look like, you know, just fine. You don't have to ultra realistically model everything. You could just make people think you did. You know, it's like motion captured facial capture, where you have the actors' facial stuff be mapped onto the model, so so all the expressions look more realistic and stuff. That all works. But some of the most immersive, expressive characters in gaming were hand-keyed by some developer. So, you know, like there's some really funny time splitters cinematics that have been popping up on my YouTube Shorts feed. And I had forgotten how expressive some of that animation was for those cutscenes. They're great. You know, and it doesn't have to be realistic. It just has to sell you the illusion of immersion into that particular world. So, yeah. But I do have another issue with this whole thing about making games faster. Weirdly enough, there's too many fucking games coming out. Like, the market is oversaturated with games. I hate to say it. You know, Steam has like I don't remember at this point, but it's something like 50,000 plus games are released in a month or a year, some stupid number like that. There's literally not enough games, or not enough like people buying games anymore, if that makes any sense. Most games just get released in the ether and never see a dime. The big issue with games taking forever to come out is high end AAA games. Like that's where the developer pipeline is going to be a little bit quicker. They don't have to be crazy fast. You know, you can still have 2-3 years in between each game. You know, type of things. But like when you have one new release in your franchise a generation, at most, you know, like Horizon Forbidden West, not Zero. Did I say Forbidden Dawn earlier? I meant Zero Dawn. Forbidden West was the one that came out, but Forbidden West was a cross-gen game, so it was like, okay, it came out on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and I know there's a PlayStation 5 enhanced version of it, but it's a PS4 game. So here we are, it's 2025. The PlayStation 5's been out for 5 years now. Is there a new Horizon game anywhere close to being released? No, there's not. Realistically speaking, the next Horizon game will probably be released at the end of the PlayStation 5, right at the beginning of the PlayStation 6. Same with the next God of War and all that. These games are now once-in-a-generation games, and not by choice, just that it takes that damn long to make these games. That's a problem. Nintendo could crank out more Mario games, but they just don't like to do that. That's them. But they do crank out games on a regular basis. You know, even now, you know, like you have remasters, remakes, like they're always filling their release schedule with smaller projects. You know, like you may not like the fact that Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are being released the way they are. I certainly think it's a bit silly. $70 for two games like that is stupid. But not Nintendo. They will make their money. That's how they do it. You know, even though you can emulate them on Dolphin and have a much easier and awesomer time with it. But whatever. It's not for me, it's for them. You know, the people who think that's awesome. But, yeah. Nintendo has a much better grasp on keeping their release schedule filled with titles than Sony or Microsoft does. But, I don't know. Either way, consumers can only handle so many games. Let's see here. Wow, first user on Steam to own 40,000 games, for which they earned a game collector badge on the platform on September 23rd, 2025. They are the only person on Steam to have this achievement, and it took them 15 years to get there. In terms of current value, the games add up to $644,904, but their actual account is somehow worth only $250,000 according to the Steam database. Another startling detail to consider here, Sonic X Legend technically owns over 97,000 titles in their account, but over half of them are shovelware that Valve will not count towards your badge total. Bro! And then he gets like the lamest badge ever, just says 40K. That's insane. I mean, I have a lot of games on Steam, but like nothing even remotely close to that. Somebody says, wake me up when somebody gets 40,000 copies of Bad Rats in their library. I love how that game has remained like a meme status. I mean, I'm going to say that, like, you know, obviously he's probably never played most of those games. But, you know, doing it for sheer collector's sake. But the fact that your games aren't even worth that much is just kind of weird. Oh yeah, the teaser trailer for OD, or OD, the new Hideo Kojima game. Alright. I think we should check this one out. As a matter of fact, we're going to do this. We're gonna actually shrink myself in the corner, get rid of all the overlays. I want to see what this bad boy looks like. I've heard a lot about it. Let's see here. Alright. Alright, Hideo. Don't disappoint me. What you got? "10 years since the blank horror blank or blank the curse blank have once again blank into the forbidden." Bro, why is it like... Hold on. There. Light the fires to celebrate their blank. This building was blank from a 3D scan of a blank found in a blank. Blankety blank, blank, blankety blank. And then blank were blank in a sinister ritual. Wow. Alright, cool, let's get that to 1440. There we go. The fuck? What the fuck? She looks really familiar. Whoa. For all players and screamers. Alright, that was one hell of a teaser. We're finally getting what PT could have done with OD. Unlike PT, this is woke trash. Oh, shut the fuck up. I am so tired of that shit. Yeah, it definitely gave me PT vibes. But, damn. Like, I don't know if that's the in-game graphics, but I don't doubt Kojima either. Like, he delivers what he wants to deliver. You know, like, let's be honest. Kojima can basically make whatever he wants at this point. That looked really impressive. I mean, obviously, I have no idea what the game is going to be like, but what? Unless I misunderstood Kojima or he was making stuff up, he said that the real-life room this was scanned from is supposedly haunted. It's a cloud game? No. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what the fuck could run it with that kind of graphical fidelity. Huh. Sounds like they're trying to imitate the idea of found footage based on a true story from horror movies, but making it unique to a video game. I mean, it makes sense. You know, find an old spooky house and then just like do a 3D scan of it and then put the game inside it. Genius! All right. Well, I think that's kind of it. I think for news and talking about stuff and whatnot. We've been going on for almost an hour. This isn't too bad. Goddamn. Oh, and there's a state of play announced for September 24th, which was yesterday. Did I miss it? No, it's Wednesday, so tomorrow. Wait, what? Did I read that correct? Look forward to nearly 5 minutes. Oh, okay. I read that wrong. Tune in live this Wednesday for more than 35 minutes of reveals and news from developers around the world. We'll share new looks and anticipated third-party and indie titles, plus updates from some of our teams at PlayStation Studios, including an extended look at Saros, House Marquee's new mysterious title, arriving next year. Looking forward to nearly 5 minutes of gameplay captured on PS5. The next state of play begins on September 24th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. CEST, September 25th at 6 a.m. JST on YouTube and Twitch, and will be broadcast in English and Japanese subtitles also available. See you then. Regarding co-streaming and video on demand, please note that this broadcast may include copyrighted content, example, licensed music, that PlayStation does not control. We welcome and celebrate our amazing co-streamers and creators, but licensing agreements outside our control could interfere with co-streams or VOD archives of this broadcast. If you're planning to save this broadcast as a VOD to create recap videos, or to repost clips or segments from the show, we advise omitting any copyrighted music. Yeah. Well, let's see. Alright. Now I think that was basically everything. Fairly eventful day for news. But not too bad, though. Not too bad. Yeah, I try not to even, like, I glance at actual news every day just to kind of make sure I'm up to date with topics, but I won't lie. Real news is just getting more and more, just more depressing. You see the dumbest things that are also just like, terrifying. So it's just, seeing these things, I have to like step back from it. It's really tough. All right. That said, I think we're good. Alright. Enough of this. Let's play some games. Video games. Hey, Stream Crush, how much of a nerd are you? That depends. What am I a nerd about? I'm a nerd on some things. I'm not a nerd on others. Oh, okay. Well, the sub 1000 PC build. Okay. I'm not super duper familiar with hold on a sec here. I actually have to quit the game because it's so controlling. Alright. Alright, see what you got. Put some music on. Alright, so you got an AMD Ryzen 7 77X. Peerless Assassin cooler. Okay, all pretty standard so far. 32 gigs. 9060 XT. Hold on just a second, I got a cough. Sorry, I'm still a little sick. Let's see here. Well, I feel like is it the only PC that he's using for streaming, or is it going to be like just for the streaming part, or is it just for the gaming part, like a 2 PC setup? He's got a laptop for editing. The PC is for running OBS and is for running the game. Okay. Is he planning on VTubing or anything, or is he just going to be a normal face cam streamer? Ping tubing, okay. All right. Well, that doesn't take a lot of resources then. So, now I'm not familiar with UK pricing on things, so I'm just gonna go by what I see as like the specs here. A 9060 XT is a decent card, but it's still a lower end card. It's not what they consider mid range nowadays. So it should be fine for gaming up to like 1080p. Especially if he's gonna be a ping tuber, it shouldn't be too bad. The processor's got more than enough grunt for streaming. 32 gigs of RAM is perfect because the more RAM you have, the easier to run all your programs for streaming. Terabyte SSD is good. Yeah, I mean, honestly, everything looks fine. Like you have the right idea on specs. What did AutoMod do? Oh. Yeah, AutoMod still has some tuning issues, sorry. I could get a 5070 in there, but we budget creep and bring it over to the 1,000 limit he has. Yeah. Let me see something here real quick. Alright, I'm looking for a GPU chart here, so give me a sec. 9060 XT. Just generators list and move all there. Oh. Well, that's not so bad then. So 9060 at 1080p isn't too bad. So if he's running, well, here I can pull up some charts for you. So Tom's Hardware has a pretty good list for these kind of things. It's we won't even pay attention to the stuff that's over here behind me. So this is a 1080 Ultra, 1080p Ultra. So where these dots are is kind of where they place in frames per second performance on average. Really what this does is a pretty good idea of giving you like a tier list of what you got. So for desktop, a 9060 XT at 1080p Ultra is going to get you basically around like a 4060 or a 5060 Ti in terms of performance. You know, obviously being AMD, you miss out on some of the NVIDIA suite of things, which depending on like, you know, depending on how much you care about that stuff, you know, I find that, you know, while NVIDIA is kind of crappy for their price to performance these days, one of the things that makes them a compelling option is the fact that they do have a lot of extended like software ecosystem, like NVIDIA Broadcast and stuff. You know, and obviously DLSS is still a little better than FSR4. But, you know, AMD is definitely catching up. And for the price, they tend to be a bit cheaper than NVIDIA, and that could be a big win here. But yeah, I'm running with a 4070 Super, you know, which as you can see is kind of, it's starting to dip a little bit in aging here, but, you know, when you consider to the 5 series, it hasn't been much of a jump, so I'm not too sad about that. Yeah, 1440p would be, this is 1440p Ultra. As you can see, things kind of get clumped together a bit more. So 9060 XT is still going to be around a 5060 in performance. But the 5060 Ti 16 gig is still going to edge it out a little bit. You know, and obviously like my 4070 Super, as you can see, is like way up there. Yeah, probably not a bad idea. That said, 1080p can be valuable if you're running a lot, because like with streaming stuff, your GPU definitely has to render some of what you're doing. So you know that can be an issue as well, especially because AMD's encoding kind of isn't that amazing. You know, AV1 is really nice, but Twitch doesn't support AV1 right now. Only YouTube does. So, you know, the leg up that AMD would have is just not there right now. I use a 9070 XT with a Ryzen 9. Yeah, but damn, dude, a Ryzen 9 9950 X3D is a beast in its own right. Like, just like I have a 5900X, which is no slouch of a CPU. And like the 99, you know, the X3D 99, it just runs circles around it. You know, like it's easily the best CPU in the market in my opinion. Pricey, but definitely amazing. And the 9700 XT ain't bad either. I mean, that ranks You know, that ranks above me, you know. So that's a beast of a PC. $64 gig. Damn. Yeah, I don't have that kind of money. One day, maybe. One day. I don't know. I'd be worried about my power bill with all that. Some of that newer hardware gets pretty pricey on the power hungriness of it. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with your list. You know, you're keeping it under 1,000. It's got pretty much everything you need to get started. You can always tweak as you go. You're on AM5, so if you want a faster processor, you can do that. If you need more RAM, you're only at 32 gigs. You could easily add more RAM. The GPU can be upgraded. You have a 750 watt power supply, so you have plenty of headroom. You know, it's a decent case. I mean, maybe you could find something price-wise to tweak, maybe a better deal from a store or sale or something like that. But this is like pretty good for what you got. Sure. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, yes, for my opinion. I'm just saying, like, for £1,000, this probably isn't too bad. You know, keep in mind, I think American, and I can buy my local Walmart here. I'll show you here. All right, let me, in case I accidentally expose something here I don't want. All right. To give you an idea, you know, here in the US, my local Walmart has a AMD Ryzen 5 8400F, 16 gigs of DDR5, 6000 megahertz RAM, a GeForce RTX 5060 8 gigabyte, and a 1 terabyte PCI Express NVMe SSD. That is a pre-built system for $800. Obviously, they do sell more powerful stuff. You can get a 5090. Where was it here? Here, we'll do this one. Oh, do they not have it in store anymore? Yeah, it's kind of what I figured. Oh, here it is. A 9800 X3D with a 5070 Ti, 32 gigs of RAM, all that kind of stuff is $1,899 US. So, just to kind of, you know, like, the US is kind of spoiled for shit sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes it sucks and we're envious of other countries, but more often than not, we get really good deals here. So it does make it kind of hard to judge, but just based on what I saw, you know, from your PC part picker list, and then see the conversion rate, because I checked that too. So 998 pound is $1,346.85 US. You know, given like you said that there's not like a lot of bundles or pre-builds or anything like that, shit gets kind of price gougy. I'd say you're not doing too bad. Installing Windows, we get in the BIOS. Teach you how to install everything. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yep, I think you'll do pretty good on that. Hold on a second, I got a cough again. Ugh. Maybe I'll try a soda. I ain't touching a single bit of hardware unless he's gonna break it. I ain't turning it into his 3 a.m. IT booty call because his power connection's loose. Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. I don't blame you on that one at all. Like, I'm like that. You know, I had to put my foot down with my family because I became the computer IT guy. You know, free IT, yeah. Yeah, Stream Crush will fix it. All you gotta do is just ask him, you know, to fix your laptop. You know, hey, this laptop broke and it's not booting into Windows. Oh, yeah, fine. 7 hours of work later. Yeah, I got it fixed for you. Had to reinstall Windows, blah, 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 blah. Great, thanks. And that was it. No reward for it at all. So finally I was like, look, I appreciate that you come to me with your stuff, but I'm going to have to start charging because I am tired of being your free IT person. And wouldn't you look at that? I never got asked for shit again. Some people would say that's a bad thing. I consider it a blessing. I do still help occasionally when I volunteer it, not when they ask me. There you go. You can build a Lego model, you can build a PC. Really? It's put under bullying? Oh, what the fuck? Sorry, the auto mod is set to be a little bit more restrictive than normal because I don't have a real moderator. So I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. I can always like allow stuff if I feel cool with it, but I'm gonna let the bot do its work. Oh yeah, no man. I totally get it. I totally get it. If you're not swearing at the people you love, is it really love? But yes, if that fucker could build a fucking $600 Lego set, yes, he can absolutely build a fucking computer. Actually, it's even easier to build a computer now than it's ever been. There's no fucking reason not to. Want to see the pre-build he was going to buy before I swooped in? Sure, why not? Yeah, let's get back to spooky season, I guess. Ha 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 ha. Well, let's see here. Let's compare it to what you had here. So, yeah. You definitely got a better RAM. NVMe. Better card. And you got them RGB, so can't complain there. 8.4, 5 gigs. Better power supply. Sorry, I'm still sick, so I mean, it's not terrible. So, an Ryzen 7 8700F is comparable to a it's between a 7600X and a 7700. So, it's not the worst pre-built. But for what you built him, I mean, for 10 pounds more, you got him a slightly better CPU. You got him a better motherboard to start with, double the RAM. I would say the SSD is probably about the same, to be honest. Fanjing's just kind of a generic Chinese brand. The video card is way better. Like, the 8 gig 5060 is a piece of shit that shouldn't have ever been made. The 16 gig barely cuts it as it is. So your Radeon 9060 XT is going to be a better card already. And then your power supply is way better too. So, yeah, definitely a better deal that you got them. Yeah. Well, see, that's the exchange you make when you buy a pre-built. Really, what you're buying is the fact that you don't have to deal with any of that shit. You buy it, you use it, you're done with it. It's disposable. If you want to upgrade them or anything like that, I mean, you can, but it doesn't really work the best. You know, both of my family members that bought pre-builts both ran into the same issue when they came to me and were like, "How can I make this a little better?" And I'm like, "Well, this stuff is proprietary, but this stuff we could tweak, etc., etc." But yeah, it's kind of how it is. For most people, pre-builts are good enough, to be honest. Another one of his buds tried saying 32 gigs is overkill and 16 gigs is plenty. I had to give him a reality check. 16 gigs is bare minimum. If you're streaming or playing anything you need. Yes and no. So 16 gig is good enough for gaming. Very few games are going to need more than 16 gigs. It's rare. Like Microsoft Flight Simulator would eat up RAM like nobody's business. Where the extra RAM comes in handy is for when you're streaming, being able to keep all of your programs going. Like I noticed a big difference in program stability jumping up to 32 gigabytes. I still have crashes occasionally with OBS, but you know, yeah, it's more noticeable. You know, I can you know, more system stability for me. And then for like some pieces of software, they do run a little bit better. Like Epic Game Store, I noticed was a pretty big boost when the RAM was increased. But overall, I mean, for just purely gaming, oh yeah, absolutely, 16 gigs is fine. 8 gigs is no longer enough. 16 gigs is where you should be. But RAM is so cheap right now that why wouldn't you get more? He's running OBS with a ton of filters, running somewhat new games like Helldivers and Spooderman, running voice mod and voice meter in Chrome. Yeah. Well, and the thing is like, that's not just going to stress your RAM, that's going to stress your CPU and GPU too. Because the VRAM on your GPU can get eaten up pretty quick with a bunch of special effects and stuff from OBS. Not to mention that if your GPU is what's doing the streaming, even though it has dedicated streaming encoders, it could still eat up resources for your, you know, from your GPU. So it'll affect your frame rate and stuff. But yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, I hope that answers your question. Which is why we got 16 gigs of RAM and a 7700X. Yep. Yeah, I mean, my 4070 Super only has 12 gigs of RAM, so he's got more RAM than I do. NVIDIA and their skimpy-ass RAMs. Supposedly, the 50 Super Series is going to have a lot of RAM. I'm not holding my breath on that. I'd be kind of pissed if they did, but yeah. I could go down to a Ryzen 5 9600X and get a 5070, but it unbalances the build. Yes. So Digital Foundry and actually a lot of tech reviewers have done like things on this. Like if you took a 5090 and you put it into a PC with a Ryzen 3600, which don't get me wrong, like at the time was a great like value per dollar. I used to own one before I upgraded to my 5900X. You know, it's going to be held back by that CPU. Whereas if you have a 5060 and you toss it into a system that has a 9000X 3D, like your 5060 is going to have way better performance because it won't be capped by the CPU. So, you know, it makes a big difference. A lot of people think, well, if I just put a more powerful GPU in there, you know, I'll get like more performance, and you will, but it's the true performance, like what it can really do, it's going to be capped. So it's like taking a supercar engine and putting it into a Honda Civic. It's going to run faster, but everything else about the Civic's going to hold it back. You want a CPU bottleneck, your GPU should be reaching 100% utilization. Yes, but you don't want so much of a CPU bottleneck that it slows down the potential of your GPU. So, like, you don't want... What you want is you want to maximize the visual fidelities of things you can push. So, like, you want a higher resolution, you want more, like, stuff that your GPU can do. If it's doing that on a system that's lower, your frames are going to suffer. You want a GPU, but... Yes. Okay, that makes more sense. Yes, you want a GPU bottleneck. You want a GPU bottleneck. You don't want a CPU bottleneck. So yeah, you want to limit that as much as possible. Like, I know that I could have gotten a 5800X 3D, which is a beast of a CPU even now. I chose not to because even though it has superior gaming performance to a 5900X, a 5900X has much better productivity capabilities. The multi-threading on it is just superior to a 5800. So when it comes to video editing or anything that requires like a lot of number crunching, the 5900X walks circles around a 5800X 3D. So, yeah, thankfully the 9800X 3D seems to kind of be the best of both worlds, but you know, that is also a $700 upgrade for me. So I think I'll hold off on that for now. Having an overkill CPU means your first upgrade is the GPU. Storage should come before or next, because let's face it, games be too damn big. I just don't keep all my stuff installed anymore. So, and I think that, like, in terms of price per dollar, SSDs are like finally getting to the point where like we're hitting that next milestone. So I've been seeing 4 terabyte SSDs dip down under $200 US a couple times lately, and I think that like we're gonna get to the point where 2 terabyte becomes the cheap one and 4 terabyte becomes the higher end one, but still within that affordable range. Whereas like now it's 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte. So at 4 terabyte of space for $200 is not a bad deal. Granted, I mean, you know, I don't know. It's still pricey, but I keep 500 gigabytes of games installed. I'm installing a terabyte mod pack for Skyrim just because I want to see how much I could push the system. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose that would do it. I don't know. I tend to uninstall my games when I'm done with them. I have a few of the smaller games that I kind of keep installed, but just for like pick up and play. But it probably helps that I have like a ton of other games that I could just pick up and play lying around the house. So if I really need something, I don't know. I don't really game on my PC unless I'm like streaming. So only games I keep installed that don't really need installed are all the Jackbox packs, because who knows when you want to run another Helplet event. I can't relate to that. I have no friends. I kid. No, all that stuff's on my Switch. It's more portable, and that way I could just drag it around. Although now I have a Steam Deck, so I'm like, maybe I should get it on the PC, and that way I could just keep it on my Steam Deck. It's hard to say. Is that not capturing audio now? Why does it do this? Alright, we're gonna do that. See on the day if I get a better motherboard or CPU on Amazon resale. I'll check some reliable shops for some second-hand parts. Couldn't attempt to beat that list. That list was just a regular prices list without thinking you're saving your deals. Yeah, I think you could probably modify that list down a little bit more, and I feel like you would probably be better served for that. I do feel like but yeah, I was gonna say I do feel like your overall like idea of what you want is probably just fine, to be honest. The game is hella loud. Yeah. I don't know why it's doing this. So now that's on game. No. Guess we just put it out through system. How's that? probably spend a year just tweaking and getting this perfect. Runs for use isn't a complete ripoff. That's solid. Been installing it without Nexus Premium, so it's been taking a sweet time. Yeah, I heard Nexus mods kind of got a little messed up with somebody buying it out or something. I have to. Come on.
Leave me alone.
Alright, so what is the gimmick to these? Oh, this cold has gotten worse, I think. Okay. So what am I looking for here? Oh, absolutely. Well, how much better could you get with an extra $100? You know, £100. Sorry.
This seems right. Better look for more.
Okay. Oh.
One left.
Bloodstained letter. For those who have yet to abandon hope, I have hidden the Omamori that protects against the evil behind the Emma At. I can attest to its sufficiency, however, no power is absolute. You must remain vigilant. This heirloom belonged to my grandmother, and now I pass it on to you. But do not think I have much use for it now. more reliable 850 power supply, and slightly better card. Still a 9060, just slightly better. It's like a 2% performance difference. Really just does better on temps. Probably not worth it then, to be honest. PSU being more reliable is really just the only thing that's like, yeah, kind of worth. It means it can hold up better if it goes for, say, a 5070 Ti in the future of 50. True. You're not wrong. Mom, Dad, I don't think I'll make it home. I just wish I could see one last time, Naomi. Worst case, I could pass it, and he just buys the next few lunches at dinner and build a high. It's cool you're looking out for your bro. I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Don't want him getting shunted because of a somewhat unreliable PSU. No, I went with a Antec Earthwatts. Probably not the most amazing power supply, but it has done the job. But it's old enough it doesn't even have the fancy connector. I had to use the Molex adapters for that. not really understanding this puzzle. Yeah, the 12 HVP. The one that melts in 5090s.
All right. Time to try that lock.
Really? No. Was this her the whole time and I never noticed? Oh my gosh. Did you get automat? Did you get automated again? Sorry. I can't tab out of this game. It's like really fucky like that. If I tab out, it's gonna start messing with everything. So I apologize. If you want to retype it without the swear word, because I'm guessing that's what it was complaining about. For some reason, this game, like, I don't know what it is with newer PC games, but a lot of them are doing this dumb shit where the full screen resolution of the game is exclusively tied to the native resolution of your monitor. So, like, my monitor is 4K, and if I want to have less than 4K as a resolution, I can't do that at full screen. I have to have it in window mode. But window mode, if I put it 1440p, just puts it in a 1440p window in my full screen, in my 4K. And I can't stretch the window out to be full screen, which is stupid. Ah, okay.
Wait a minute. I feel like I've seen something like this before.
You have. Crane, serpent, tortoise. So that was horizontal, vertical, squiggly. Booyakasha.
That man. Where'd he go?
It's It's all good. I'm seeing my butt on the 29th. We're buying parts and whatnot then. If it's next day deliver, I'll probably just steal the couch or spoon with them like a true bro. If it's 2 to 3 day after bed, just chill and go home and come back on the 6th payday to give them some time to relax and get in the mindset. Sorata Mod just wants to turn any community into a God-loving Christian household. Can't swear, can't cuss, can't crowd, God's name invader, fuck all. Well, like I said, as the community grows and I start relying on actual moderators more than bots, all that stuff will be toned down so the Automod isn't so aggressive. So it's weird that it's doing that stuff because I haven't had too much issue with it until you showed up again. And I swear I didn't tune it, like just for you. So I don't know. Stone key. A key fashioned from a mysterious stone. Judging from what he said, it's probably something precious. Oh.
So you accept my gift. I fashioned this key from Mystic Jade. Especially for you.
Especially for me?
Once you insert that key into the Inari statue...
Don't trust the fox mask. Bro, no. I don't have time for this. What the hell is them? Bro, that was kind of lame.
The door from earlier was for welcoming visitors. However, this door denies all but the select few who may tread sacred ground.
Am I allowed inside?
Why, of course. Today you are most welcome. We must continue on ahead. Shall we rest first?
I'm okay. I think.
Tell me if you need a break. Now then, onward.
What is going on? The fox's guidance. The fox watches over the chicken coop. That's not ominous.
Hinako. Are you okay? Talk to me. Oh, thank goodness. Well, you never have been one to go down without a fight.
Shu, you're alive.
So, where's Sakuko? What is happening? Not a soul left in town. Some kind of terrible dream?
Monsters around every corner. It's one nightmare after another.
Still though, I got lucky. Even if no one else is left in this world, it's good to know you're still around.
Bro's got some riz, man.
She just said she needed to talk to me about something.
Rinko was supposed to be with you. How do we know if she's all right?
Oh. Sorry. I guess I was confused. We all got split up and ran off. I haven't seen Rinko since.
But where would she even go at a time like this?
Maybe she went home. Let's go find her, partner.
Shu.
Okay.
What's wrong? Keep up, or I'll leave you behind.
All right. I need to focus. Need to find Rinko.
Okay. Just have me chat a bit more. I'll be sure to train it like the good masochist it should be. Bro's been mewing and aura farming this entire time. Hell yeah, he has. Let's see. So where am I supposed to be going? When focusing, use your standard solo to play with max standard to increase your attack and while your focus. And action difficulties other than story. Once your focus gauge is full, use R1 to perform a focus attack. You can use items such as Remune or and Divide Water, or visit Hokora and choose Clear Mind to restore your max sanity. If you have chosen the story as your difficulty level, then you can recover both your health and sanity without using it. Oh, that was sad.
Not good. won't last much longer.
Oh, okay. So the game actually does tell you. You're gonna look, game looks fun, I'll probably shout, so don't want too many spoilers. Feel free to lurk, man.
Another dead end.
So why did Shu run off like that then?
Please tell me that monster's not around.
Lovely.
This should be an offering.
Hello there.
Hello, hello. Have I checked your Twitter? No, I have not. I haven't spent much time on Twitter at all lately. Check it out then. Ooh. Whew. Weapons are replaced will be lost for good. Or shield replaces. I guess I have 2 steel pipes, so.
Shu, where are you?
What is it, partner?
What? Where the hell was he?
What's happening to us? Do you think it could be some dream we're having? Because we just want to keep playing Space Force together.
Well, we could pinch each other to find out.
No. I can pinch myself. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Seems it's not a dream after all.
Can't pinch each other. That would be lewd. And then he vanishes again. Oh, there's a ton of stuff. I love the art in these journals. Well, she looks nothing like her in-game model. Dad's a serious mode guy. Oh, come on. Like that's intentional for sure. Huh. He's so handsome. Rinko. Interesting. Oh, I got distracted by the journal. I totally forgot to check the map. Okay, so can we... Oh, she's supposed to be way up there. Dude, how big is this map? I'm going to try something with the options here. So I heard that the motion blur, when you turn it off, it causes graphical corruption issues. So we're going to turn it on and see if that helps at all. Well, it's definitely blurry. Jesus. Really?
Doctor, are you home?
We can go in.
Doctor, is that you?
Damn, that's creepy. A small, crispy rice cracker. Its pleasant crunch makes it never boring to eat. Slightly restores health. The effect increases when used continuously. Can also be used as an offering. Oh. Of course it's gone. Why wouldn't it be gone? Okay. Graphical errors or not, I'm turning off that motion blur. It's really not helping me feel good. Which way do I go now?
Sakuko Shrine is up ahead. I used to go there a lot.
Sennen Sugi Shrine Flyer. Let's hold a Jichen Sai. Whether you're building a house or pulling it down, digging a well or filling one up, it's all done upon Inari-sama's land. We should show our gratitude to Inari-sama by holding a Jichen Sai. Holding a Jichen Sai is especially important for wells, lest we forget the ancient tale of a poisonous water dragon that once wreaked havoc until Inari-sama finally sealed it deep underground. Digging a new well is just like opening up an air hole for that terrible dragon, and if we're not careful, we risk facing its wrath once more. That's why we must have a Jichen Sai. Exclusive price for first-time customers. Special deals for requests on unlucky calendar days. Call for a free consultation now. Good old superstition. Oh. Keys to Sakuko's mailbox.
Is this the key to Sakuko's mailbox?
Dear Sakuko, you mustn't ever speak again about how you hear otherworldly voices singing or talking. Puberty is a difficult time. You may hear and see strange things you can't explain. The same thing happened to me when I was your age. However, it's nothing more than your imagination playing tricks on you. If your friends find out, they'll label you the strange girl. They'll abandon you, ostracize you, because around here, once rumors spread, people will never look at you the same again. Yep, small towns.
Sakuko always said she'd make the shrine as popular as it used to be back in the day.
That's not how you get to the shrine? Are you kidding me?
Hey, partner! That's not the way to Rinko's house.
Oh, sorry. Zoned out for a bit.
This is Sakuko's family shrine, right?
Yeah.
Don't think too much about it. Let's hurry up and find Rinko.
Right. Let's go.
And he's gone again. Another steel pipe.
was that?
Sounded lovely. How do I get around any of this?